Why do you still pay with cash when you have People's Pay mobile app from People's Bank? Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
In a few moments, the news.
Why do you still pay with cash when you have People's Pay mobile app from People's Bank?
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(1:15 p.m.) This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Romesh Piris and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The Cabinet of Ministers approves the 2022 Appropriation Bill. An extraordinary gazette notification issued on holding gatherings and meetings. The Attorney General requests to hear Yugadanavi petitions before a full bench. The DMC extends landslide warnings issued in 11 districts. The national vaccination drive continues to operate across the country today. The WHO commended Sri Lanka's Homebased COVID program. A special 8-member committee appointed to review the new gazette notification on Muthurajawala wetland. Korea to resume entry of new Sri Lankan migrant employees. International news, temperature fears as climate summit enters final day. Sports cricket, the SLC increases the number of members in a squad of LPL 2021 teams to 22 from 20. Local news in detail now. The Cabinet of Ministers has granted approval to the 2022 budget. The approval has been granted during a special cabinet meeting held this morning under the patronage of the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The second reading of the 2022 Appropriation Bill or the budget speech will be delivered by the Minister of Finance Basil Rajapaksa at 2 p.m. The budget being presented today is the second budget of the government of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, the 7th Executive President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. Overall, this is the 76th budget to be presented of independent Sri Lanka. The 2022 Appropriation Bill was introduced in Parliament by the Minister of Finance on October 7th. This Appropriation Bill was published in the Gazette on September 29, 2021 for matters relating to obtaining service expenses for the financial year 2022. Accordingly, for service expenses during the period from January 1st to December 31st, 2022, approved is to be secured for recurrent and capital expenditure related to government expenditure amounting to 2,500 rupees and 5,346,558,000. Meanwhile, arrangements have been made to present this year's budget debate in sign language on behalf of the hearing-impaired community. Accordingly, a sign language window will be telecast simultaneously with the live telecast during the budget debate. Following the budget speech, the Minister of Finance will host the traditional tea party. However, it will be limited to MPs, ministers, foreign ambassadors and invitees. An extraordinary gazette has been issued, making it mandatory to obtain prior approval of Director General of Health Services for gatherings, activities, events or similar places of meetings. According to the gazette, the guidelines, circulars, directions, instructions or terms and conditions issued given by the Director General of Health Services supersedes the guidelines, circulars, directions, instructions or terms and conditions issued, given or specified by other authorities. The regulation has been made by Minister of Health, Keheliya Ramukwala, under Section 2 and 3 of the Quarantine and Prevention of Disease Ordinance. The Attorney General has requested the Supreme Court to hear the fundamental rights petitions filed challenging the Yugadanavi power plant deal before a full bench. Relevant petitions were taken up for consideration before Supreme Court judges Buwaneka Aluvihare, A.M.H.D. Nawaz and Mahinda Samewardana today. The fundamental rights petitions were put forward by the Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit, Venerable L.A. Gunawangsa Thera, Samagi Janabalawege former JVP parliamentarians. The petitioners claim that the government failed to obtain the approval of the parliament for signing the agreement in question and that the relevant share transfer process had not been carried out in accordance with the formal tender procedure. The death toll owing to the inclement weather experienced over the island has increased to 26. The Disaster Management Centre said 230,185 persons of 65,580 families have been affected by the adverse weather. 39 houses have been destroyed while 1,390 houses have been damaged due to weather-related incidents. Meanwhile, the landslide warnings issued on 11 districts have been extended till 4 p.m. today. The Kagala District Secretary stated that the Kandy-Colombo Road, which was closed from Lower Kadugannawa, will remain closed until further notice. Furthermore, the Department of Irrigation says that sluice gates of many reservoirs and tanks in the Anuradhapura, Kurunegala, Putlam and Vavuniya districts will remain closed today. However, he noted that the sluice gates of the Angamua, Thabbowa, Rajanganaya, Yan Oya, Kantale and Daduru Oya reservoirs will remain open throughout today as well. The Army-manned COVID vaccination centres continue to operate across several districts in the country today. Meanwhile, the epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health reported that 24,383 individuals were administered COVID-19 vaccine doses yesterday. Accordingly, 13,611,123 individuals have thus far been fully vaccinated in Sri Lanka. For more details on vaccination clinics operating in your local area and the type of vaccines administered, can be obtained by visiting the official website of the Health Ministry, www.health.gov.lk. The Minister of Health, Keheliya Rambukkala, says the World Health Organization has commended Sri Lanka's method of home-based treatment for individuals who test positive for COVID-19. Speaking in Kandy, the minister said the government is ready to face any future situation. Minister Rambukkala further stated that necessary facilities have also been prepared in the event such a situation arises. He noted that the home-based program has been a great success with more than 100,000 individuals monitored under the home care system. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Why do you still pay with cash when you have People's Pay mobile app from People's Bank?
The ambassador of the Republic of Korea, Santus Woon Jin-jong, announced that the newly entering Sri Lankan migrant employees will be able to enter Korea and assume their new jobs very soon. He said, issuing a statement, the government of Republic of Korea decided to resume the entry of new Sri Lankan workers and workers from other foreign countries to Korea in the near future. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, only the re-entering migrant workers had been able to enter Korea, and the entry of new foreign workers to Korea was restricted. Motorists have been advised to use alternate routes. The Katunayaka Expressway will be closed from the Paliagoda interchange to the existing Kalani Bridge from 6 a.m. to 12 midnight on the 14th of November 2021, and motorists have been advised to use alternate routes. The Road Development Authority said the road closure is due to the construction of the new Kalani Bridge. Motorists are requested to use the Colombo-Kandy Road and the Colombo-Negombo Road as alternatives to minimize the inconvenience. Health authorities warned people to be vigilant as a major outbreak is on the cards in the near future in the wake of incessant rains. A total of 1,361 cases have been reported within just 10 days in the month of November. The community physician at the National Dengue Control Unit Specialist Dr. Shilanthi Senaviratna says more room had been created for mosquito breeding places with the flood situations. She added that risk areas when flood waters start to subside. Hence, people should be on alert over this situation. Dr. Senaviratna urged the people to seek medical advice as early as possible if they suffer from fever for 2 days. Moreover, she invited people to allocate time to destroy all mosquito breeding places surrounding their neighborhood, as it has also become one of the concerns. The death toll owing to the inclement weather experienced over the island has increased to 26. The Disaster Management Centre said 230,185 persons of 65,580 families have been affected by the adverse weather. 39 houses have been destroyed while 1,390 houses have been damaged due to weather-related incidents. Meanwhile, the landslide warnings issued in 11 districts have been extended till 4 p.m. today. And that ends local news for now.
Why do you still pay with cash when you have People's Pay mobile app from People's Bank? Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Following the issuance of the gusset notification to the Urban Development Authority for the conservation of the Muthurajawala wetland, a special discussion was held at the Parliament complex with the participation of more than 50 members of the Parliament on the advice of the President and the Prime Minister. Accordingly, steps have been taken to appoint a special 8-member committee headed by Minister of Environment Mahinda Amaravira and the State Minister of Urban Development Nalaka Godahewa. The primary role of the committee is to review the areas identified in the new gusset notification before proposing any amendments to the gusset notification. In addition, the committee will hold discussions with other stakeholders involved in the Muthurajawala issue. And that was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Watchlight is brought to you by
Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission.
The National Water Supply and Drainage Board announced that a 28-hour water cut will take effect from Saturday, November 13th from 8 p.m. to Sunday, November 14th midnight in several areas in Colombo. The affected areas include Colombo 5, 6, 7, 8, Kotte, Kaduela, Maharagama and Borlaskamua. The public is advised to store sufficient water in advance to avoid discomfort. And that was Watchlight.
Please be aware on institutes, registration and accreditation when you are selecting vocational courses which leads to achieve your future career goals. Do not waste your valuable time and money. Confirm institutes, registration and accreditation by TVEC. For more information, visit nearest district divisional secretariat offices and meet career guidance practitioners or skill development officers. Message from Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission.
Coming up, World News.
In the headlines, temperature fears as climate summit enters final day. Diplomats fear collapse in Afghanistan. FW Clarks message released after death. World news in detail now. The COP26 climate summit in Glasgow is entering its final day, amid growing fears that the goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius is unlikely to be met. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said the summit would probably not see governments make the pledges needed to cut out carbon dioxide emissions by enough. Earlier, COP26 President Alok Sharma warned that time was running out to close a deal before the summit ended. Scientists say limiting global temperature rises to 1.5 degrees Celsius will help humanity avoid the worst climate impacts. Pakistan's foreign minister warned that Afghanistan is on the brink of economic collapse. Shah Mahmood Qureshi hosted envoys from the US, China and Russia, a group known as the Troika Plus. The delegates met in Islamabad. It was their first meeting since the Taliban took control 3 months ago. Qureshi said they have a shared interest in peace and stability and a shared responsibility. Qureshi said nobody wants to see a relapse into civil war. He said everyone wants terrorist elements inside Afghanistan to be tackled effectively. The former South African President Fredrick William Clarks has left what he called his last message after his death. In a pre-recorded video, he apologized for supporting apartheid when he was young. The F.W. de Klerk Foundation released 7-minute video addressed to the people of South Africa after he died on Thursday at the age of 85. De Klerk confessed that he had defended apartheid in his younger years, but said his views had changed completely since the early 1980s. He said he apologized on many occasions, but some people did not believe him. He added in his last message that without qualification, he apologized for the pain and the hurt and the indignity and the damage that apartheid has done to black, brown and Indians in South Africa. Back to the headlines of the world news. Temperature fears as climate summit enters final day. Diplomats fear collapse in Afghanistan. F.W. de Klerk's message released after death. And that ends World News.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
The Cabinet of Ministers has granted approval for the appointment of a committee comprised of eminences, intellects in the subject field relevant to the preparation of a methodology, identification of tangible and intangible national heritages that ensures the Sri Lankan cultural identity after considering the issues that have erupted as a result of non-availability of criteria for precise identification of national heritages in Sri Lanka. The committee appointed thereby has furnished their report, and the same has pointed out the necessity of establishing a centralized, independent institutional structure for identification, scheduling, publishing, conservation, regulation, acquisition, conducting researches, etc. And that is Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Moving on with sports news.
Cricket news. The Sri Lanka Cricket has released a statement noting that the number of members in a squad of Lanka Premier League 2021 teams will be increased to 22 from 20. Accordingly, the opportunity will be given to draft 10 more players. The amendment was brought about following the controversy that arose among cricket experts, critics and fans over the failure to draft veteran players that have entered into central and domestic contracts with the SLC. Meanwhile, in the ICC Men's T20 World Cup in Dubai, Australia came back from the brink to beat Pakistan by 5 wickets in another gripping Men's T20 World Cup semi-final. It was the second thrilling final in 24 hours after New Zealand's dramatic victory over England in Wednesday's semi-final. Australia and New Zealand, neither of whom has won the T20 World Cup, will meet in the final in Dubai on Saturday at 14 hours GMT. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka is to introduce an incentive package for migrant workers, which includes a pension, superannuation benefits, accident, life insurance benefits, banking facilities, including low-interest loans for housing and self-employment on return to Sri Lanka, and enhanced duty-free concessions. The Central Bank said they are currently working in collaboration in this regard with the Minister of Labour, State Minister of Foreign Employment Promotion and Market Diversification, Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment, the banking sector, and several other stakeholders. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 Go sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic news. Courtesy of
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka's central bank expects inflation to remain high at around 8 to 9% in the next few months before gradually reverting to the desired 4 to 6% level thereafter. Releasing the recent economic developments report, the central bank said that the upward adjustments in retail market prices of some commodities, mainly driven by supply-side factors and increased global commodity prices, are likely to increase inflationary pressures in the near term, causing a deviation of headline inflation from the targeted levels. And that was economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
In the weather report, the Department of Meteorology forecasts showers to occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, northwestern and central provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Further, showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batiklo district in the evening or at night. Fairly heavy showers, about 75 millimeters, can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces. Strong winds up to 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected over the island. In the sea areas, a fresh low-pressure area is likely to form over the South Andaman Sea and the neighbourhood around tomorrow. Naval and fishing communities operating in the deep sea areas in the east of the island are advised to be attentive in this regard. And that was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
To end this news broadcast, back to the headlines. The Cabinet of Ministers approves the 2022 Appropriation Bill. An extraordinary gusset notification issued on holding gatherings and meetings. The Attorney General requests to hear Yugadanavi petitions before a full bench. The DMC extends landslide warnings issued in 11 districts. The national vaccination drive continues to operate across the country today. The WHO commended Sri Lanka's home-based COVID program. A special 8-member committee appointed to review the new gusset notification on Muthurajavela wetland. Korea to resume entry of new Sri Lankan migrant employees. International news, temperature fears as climate summit enters final day. Sports, cricket. The SLC increases the number of members in a squad of LPL 2021 teams to 22 from 20. And with that, we end this news broadcast and back to Mari Lavender to keep you entertained this Friday afternoon. Over to you.